Hello everyone, welcome to lecture series on basic electronics. We were discussing module number 3, that is introduction to an op-amp and its applications. So let us discuss lecture number 29. Contents that was covered in the previous lecture was op-amp as a differentiator. So we have studied op-amp as a differentiator, which is one of the application of an op-amp. Contents that is covered in this lecture is op-amp as an integrator. So learning outcomes: after this lecture the student will be able to understand op-amp as an integrator. So here op-amp as an integrator, it is an operational amplifier circuit that performs mathematical operation of integration on signals. So that is output voltage which is proportional to the integral of the applied input voltage. So this is a circuit diagram of op-amp as an integrator. So in case of op-amp as an integrator, Vin is the applied input, Vin is the input signal which is applied to the inverting terminal of the op-amp via the resistance R1, and a feedback, there is a capacitor called as CF, which is a feedback component. So here there is a feedback connection from output to input. So now instead of using a resistor as a feedback component, in case of integrator a capacitor is used as a feedback component, whereas non-inverting terminal of the op-amp is connected to ground. So here I1 is the current that is flowing through the input resistance R1, and IF is the current that is flowing through the capacitor feedback capacitor component CF. So now with respect to the circuit diagram, we know that this capacitor CF, it comes in parallel to the input signal, that is when the capacitor is in parallel to the applied input voltage. So whenever a capacitor is in parallel to the applied input voltage, it acts as a low pass filter. So now this capacitor, it acts as an parallel to the applied input voltage. So whenever it comes in parallel to the applied input voltage, it acts as a low pass filter. That is, it is going to pass only the low frequency applied input signal, whereas high frequency input signals are completely blocked. That is, when a low frequency input signal is applied, firstly the capacitor was not charged initially, so hence it offers a low resistance, a very little resistance, and acts as a short circuit and passes to the output. So that is, in other words, we can say that an AC input voltage, if it is applied, an AC input voltage is nothing but it is a time varying input voltage. So whenever a time varying input voltage is applied, it causes the capacitor to get charged as a function of time. So now that is, the capacitor C begins to charge up due to the influence of the applied input voltage, and slowly its impedance XC increases in proportion to the rate of its charge. So thus, when a high frequency input signal occurs, the capacitor opposes for the flow of current and hence output falls to 0. So this is the working of the integrator. So that is, as the capacitor comes in parallel to the applied input voltages, it can pass only a low frequency signal because it was not charged initially. So slowly, as the time varying input signal is applied, so that is, slowly the capacitor starts to charge, and parallelly it is going to build an impedance. So whenever an impedance is built across the capacitor, it opposes for the high frequency input signals. So thus no output voltage is available. So that is, it passes only the low frequency signals and opposes or blocks the high frequency input signal. So now let us go for output voltage calculation. So now with the help of this circuit diagram, we know that as non-inverting terminal is connected to the ground via the resistance R1, the voltage at node Y, it becomes equal to 0. So if at all we are assuming an ideal op-amp, then we are assuming an ideal op-amp condition. So Ri is infinite, so there is no current can flow via the op-amp. That is, the potential difference between node X and node Y remains the same. So whenever the potential difference remains the same, automatically current cannot flow through the op-amp. So therefore, from the circuit it is seen that node Y is grounded through a compensating resistor R1. So therefore node X will also be at a ground potential. So that is due to virtual ground concept. therefore Vx becomes equal to Vy becomes equal to 0. So that is voltage at X node and voltage at Y node becomes equal to 0. Since the input current to an op amp is ideally 0, the current flowing through the input resistor due to Vin also flows through the capacitor Cf. So as this becomes equal to 0, so no current can flow into the op amp. So therefore whatever the current that is flowing through the resistance R1, that is I1, it can flow only via the feedback component Cf. So that is If is the current that is flowing through the capacitor feedback component Cf. So therefore from the input side the current I is given as, so we can call it as an I1. So that is equation for current I1 is, it is Vin minus Vx divided by R1. So therefore I1 is equal to Vin minus Vx divided by R1. So we know already that Vx is equal to 0. So substituting Vx is equal to 0, we are going to get I1 is equal to Vin divided by R1. From the output side the current I is given as If is equal to, so current If is equal to, it is the potential difference between this point and this point divided by charge. So that is, so we know that the capacitor the current through the capacitor is given by I is equal to C into dV by dt. So therefore here we have If is equal to Cf into d of Vx minus Vout divided by dt. So we know that Vx is equal to 0. So substituting Vx is equal to 0, we will be getting minus Cf into dVout divided by dt. So therefore, so current that is flowing through the resistance R1 becomes equal to current flowing through the capacitor If. So that is I1 becomes equal to If. So now equate the value of both the currents, we get I1 is equal to, we know that it is Vin divided by R1, whereas If is equal to minus Cf dVout divided by dt. So substitute the value of If in the equation. So after substituting, let us integrate both the sides of the above equation. So integrating on both the sides above equation with respect to time. So integration from 0 to t, Vin divided by R1 into dt is equal to minus Cf integration from 0 to t dVout divided by dt into dt. So therefore here this integration and differentiation gets cancelled. So therefore left out is integration from 0 to t Vin divided by R1 into dt, which is equal to minus Cf into Vout. So we are obtaining the output equation of an integrator. So therefore Vout is equal to minus 1 divided by this R1 into Cf integration from 0 to t Vin into dt. So therefore the output, this is the output equation of the integrator. Vout is equal to minus 1 divided by R1 into Cf integration from 0 to t Vin into dt. So here the output is minus 1 divided by R1 into Cf times the integral of the input voltage. So where the term R1 into Cf, it is known as charging time constant of the integrator. So that is, integrator or integration amplifier is a circuit in which output voltage is integral of the input voltage. So here the negative sign indicates that there is a phase shift of 180 degree between input and output, because the input is provided to the inverting input terminal of the op amp. So now let us analyze the integrator, op amp as an integrator, by applying a square wave. So square wave as an input. So when a square wave input signal is applied then to an integrator circuit, then it produces a triangular wave at the output. So please make a note that output is measured between VO and ground. So this is a positive in square wave input signal, which is denoted as V in, and VO is the output voltage, which is a triangular wave that is available produced at the output terminal of the op amp. So now when a square wave input signal is applied, so that is the first positive half cycle input signal is applied, then automatically the left side of the capacitor, left side plate of the capacitor becomes positive, whereas right side plate of the capacitor becomes negative. So that is, the capacitor starts to charge. So as the negative plate, you can make a note over here, the negative plate of the capacitor is connected to the output terminal of the op-amp. So therefore output goes linearly in a negative direction. I repeat, so now we are applying a square wave input signal. So now when a first positive half cycle input, that is first positive square wave input signal is applied, because of this positive square wave input signal, the left side plate of the capacitor becomes positive, whereas right side plate of the capacitor becomes negative. So this negative plate of the capacitor is connected to the output terminal of the op-amp. So due to application of this square wave, the capacitor slowly charges and it goes in a negative direction, because the negative plate of the terminal, the negative plate of the op-amp is connected to the output terminal of the op-amp. So now it goes in a linearly, the capacitor starts to charge linearly in a negative direction. So now whenever the capacitor makes the whenever an input changes suddenly from positive to negative, so you can make a note here, its input signal changes its value suddenly from positive to negative. So that is during a negative half cycle is applied, negative half cycle of the input is applied. The direction of the current I is reverse. So now the capacitor starts to charge with a reverse polarity. So that is, the positive plate, that is right side of the plate of the capacitor becomes positive, and left side of the plate, left side plate of the capacitor becomes negative. So therefore output goes linearly in a positive direction. So thus the cycle starts to repeats. So therefore when a square wave input signal is applied, a triangular wave output is generated. So this is nothing but charging in a charging and discharging waveform. So now let us solve one example on an integrator. A sinusoidal with a peak value of 6 millivolt and 2 kilohertz frequencies applied to the input of an ideal op-amp integrator with R1 is equal to 100 kilo ohms and C1 is equal to 1 microfarad. So find the output voltage. So here the given parameters is R1, that is input resistance, they have given it as 100 kilo ohms, and capacitor it is given as 1 microfarad with a frequency of 2 kilohertz, whereas input voltage Vin, that is maximum sinusoidal with a peak value, peak of the sinusoidal signal is given as 6 millivolts. So therefore Vm is equal to 6 millivolt. So milli means it is 10 to the power of minus 3. So we know the equation, it is Vin is equal to Vm sin omega t. So where omega is equal to 2 pi f. So 2 pi into f parameter is given as 2 kilohertz. So substitute f is equal to 2 kilohertz. So 2 pi into 2 kilohertz is 4 pi into 10 to the power of 3. So therefore substituting in Vin is equal to Vm sin omega t. So Vm is, it is 6 into 10 to the power of minus 3, and sin omega is 4 pi into 10 to the power of 3 t. So the output voltage of the integrator is given by, we know output equation of the integrator, it is Vo is equal to minus 1 divided by R1 into Cf integration from 0 to t Vin into dt. So substitute the value of R1 is, it is 100 kilo ohms, so 100 into 10 to the power of 3, capacitor value is 1 microfarad, it is 1 into micro means 10 to the power of minus 6, integration from 0 to t, Vin is, it is Vm sin omega t, so Vm is 6 into 10 to the power of minus 3, sin omega is 4 pi into 10 to the power of 3 t into dt. So now 6 into 10 to the power of minus 3 can be taken outside, so which is equal to minus 6 into 10 to the power of minus 3, 100 into 10 to the power of 3 into 1 into 10 to the power of minus 6. So solving this part of the equation, we are going to get 0.06. So similarly, that is remaining equation retains as it is, that is integration from 0 to t sin 4 pi into 10 to the power of 3 t into dt. So we know that integration of sin a theta is equal to minus cos a theta divided by a. So therefore minus 0.06. Integration of sine 4 pi into 10 to the power of 3t is nothing but it is minus cos of 4 pi into 10 to the power of 3t divided by 4 pi into 10 raised to 3. So now we are supposed to apply the limits. So applying the limits, taking a 4 pi into 10 to the power of 3 outside. So we are applying the limits. So minus cos of 4 pi into 10 to the power of 3t minus cos of 0. So that is this parameter becomes, t value becomes equal to 0. So cos of 0 we know that it is equal to 1. So therefore VO is equal to, solving this, minus into minus means it becomes plus 0.06 divided by 4 pi into 10 to the power of 3, it comes to 4.77 into 10 raised to minus 6. So cos of 4 pi into 10 to the power of 3t minus cos of 0 is 1. So this is the solution for the given problem. So summary, we have studied op-amp as an integrator, and we have discussed one example problem on integrator. Thank you.